Hey.
Hello.
Our little trip is winding down. What do I want to do tomorrow?
You want to go scootering to the north. Punta Mita.
Punta Mita. Sayulita.
Yeah.
San Pancho.
We're not hitting everything out.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do that. I said before we left that this was one of my stipulations for coming on the trip was I wanted to go up there.
Well, we don't have an RV with a toilet up.
Now, what's going on, Marcel?
Last night, we went to the burger joint at the end of the road, and we had you just wanted some fries, so I got the burger, and you had the fries, and I had some fries too.
Well, we went to a whole bunch of places, and they were all closed. So
yes, we ran around, everything was closed for some reason in this area, and then we went down a dark road and turned into a big dirt road, and we got all scared, and we turned around, and then we were like, okay, we'll just go to this burger joint we went to once before. So this time,
did, yeah.
Yeah, so this time I ordered burger and fries, ate the burger, still hungry, ordered a second mini burger. And since then, last night, I woke up in the middle of the night with just extreme lower bowel pain. And then today, the coffee and running for the washroom in the grocery store in Mexico. And it was the most disgusting grocery store bathroom. You go into the stalls, 2 of them didn't have toilet seats, and then the third one had a toilet seat, and then none of them had toilet paper. All 3 of them had no toilet paper, and then I'm like, oh my god, because as soon as you finally find the washroom, you're committed. I was like literally like I should run. As I'm getting closer and closer, I was
you're hoping the door isn't locked.
Yeah, because I knew it was there. I asked them for where's the Banjo or Banos, and then she's like this way, and I'm like, I saw the room, it said restroom, and I'm just picking up my speed, and then yeah, there was no toilet paper, and then I'm like, I'm looking around, you have to buy it or something in the store, and I go outside it, and I see that there's like that cheapest toilet paper on a big roll. You know the stuff that's like thin as fucking paper, thinner than paper, and like I'm like, it's outside the washroom, and so yeah, I grab a whole bunch of pile, and then I go into the one toilet with a seat, and then
do that again.
And then of course there's no soap either in the soap dispenser. It's empty. Like this grocery store. Like what a sad shit show, literally. And then so I go back to the cafe, which was in this mall area, and then I tell you about like, you won't believe what just happened, and then you announce to everybody like, you got diarrhea to everybody in the store. I'm like, shh, don't want to scare everybody away. And then we get on, and then I had some cereal, right? We had the oats, and then we went for a big scooter ride for like 2 hours, and I was fine. We came back, we got the chicken, we ate the chicken from the chicken place, which I filmed, and you can see the chicken.
Polo chicken,
it's
favorite
like,
Polo
it's
chicken
like the guy
place.
on,
Polo
on
is chicken,
Breaking
so
Bad. It's like the same joint on Breaking Bad.
Say them together.
Anyways, they make your sweet chicken and all that stuff. And then, boom, hit me again. And then boom again, and then boom again, and then just like little explosions going off. We walked to the store to get some groceries, and I get like a mango juice, and now I'm in the grocery store again. And I'm like, no. You're like, well, you know where the washroom is. I'm like, fuck. And then I do the same thing. I go and check all the toilets. They're just so disgusting. I freaking hate this. And we all know this thing, using your unfriendly toilet. And the same thing again, and I leave there, and then I go tell you about my terrible time. And then you found some pills to get, but you weren't quite sure, so we tried to get these things. Neomycanic.
Mycin
129.
Lucina.
Tabitas. Whatever. Anyways, and then
recommended by the pharmacist.
So I had like one chip, and then boom again, and then I had the juice, boom again, and then like I can't eat anything. It won't stay in for me for more than like 3 or 5 minutes.
Marcel was all sensitive to in the grocery store. He's like,
I'm like, don't tell me. Don't
stop telling everyone that I have diarrhea.
I know, you just yell it out.
I'm just a doctor. It's hard to not just talk about these things.
Like, you're supposed
like, what color is it? Is it runny? Is it Yeah.
You didn't ask me these
No,
questions.
I know.
Why are you making
It's
shit
in
up
my
now?
head. I'm like thinking, well, I could
You're
ask
so
a lot of
gross.
questions.
Doctor. That's the problem with dating a doctor.
It's all sensitive.
Yeah, and then you announce everything to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where's doctor-patient
But
confidentiality?
who's announcing it all to the world right now?
Where's doctor-patient confidential? Well, this is more funny. It's not like these people are in the cafe with us.
There was no one there.
There was 2 people across the way.
There was not.
Yes. So, anyways, these people are online. They don't care.
You can talk about bowel movements in a,
In a cafe.
Why not?
I don't know. Well, you're the
You
one.
didn't really describe anything. You were just like.
Anyways,
I
you're
had
the
to
one
run. I was like, oh yeah.
You're the one announcing to everybody in the cafe, like, you got diarrhea. I'm like, shut up. Trying to tell you a story in confidence. Anyways, that's the story. And now I'm hungry, but it's not worth it's not only painful in the stomach, but it's painful in there.
How many people are you announcing this to right now?
Well, I got 187,000 subscribers, going down around 2,000 a month. So by the time this goes out, it'll be around 186,000 subscribers. Since I got shadow banned and my subscribers deleted thanks to the Emergency Act, which I've been reporting on, the Invocation of the Emergency Act, in the public inquiry. And unfortunately, I didn't get to I realized that people submitted letters to this. I could have submitted a letter about how exactly on February 21st, which is a week after the Invocation of the Emergency Act, that when they were voting on it in Parliament to maintain it, to keep it going, they voted, freaking the NDP sucking off Trudeau, and they all voted together along with the Green Party too. They're a bunch of sucking idiots, and etc. They all voted to keep the Emergency Act. And then my channel went from 2 million views per day. We're talking 100,000 views per hour to, it would literally just drop to 100,000 views per day. And then it dropped to 1,000 views per day. Okay, yes. Okay, bye everybody. What?
And then you made a pretty cool video, right?
Right now?
Tonight. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's going to go live tomorrow, which is the 30th of November on my IrnieracingNews channel. It just takes, Trudeau is on testifying saying that, I didn't name call anybody, the unvaccinated or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I had all the clips of all his name calling me a racist and a
misogynist.
And I love women, so that's definitely true.
Yes, he does.
He called me a misogynist, racist, extremist, terrorist. And so we all know who the real terrorist is, him and Freeland. And Freeland even wrote in her notes, we need to label them terrorists. But so I'm going to write in my notes, I'm going to label terrorists. In this video notes, we got Trudeau and Freeland terrorists, labeled terrorists. This is IrnieracingNews. Peace.
Mendicino, National Security Intelligence Advisor Jody Thomas, and RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lucki, and today you testified that the federal government was committed to exhausting all alternatives to a resolution prior to making a decision to invoke the extraordinary powers of the Emergencies Act. Do you agree that that accurately describes your government's position?
That the invocation of the Emergencies Act was a measure of last resort, was not something to be taken lightly.
Thank you.
And something to do when other options were not effective.
And you are aware that the OPP, along with others, developed an engagement proposal, and you were advised of that proposal at the IRG meeting on February 12th, correct?
It was a proposal, but we had, and it was presented to us, we had more questions about how it would actually work. It was not a complete proposal.
My last question, Mr. Prime Minister, when did you and your government start to become so afraid of your own citizens?
That's a very
I am
unfair.
not, and we are not.
Those are my questions.
Thank you.
Okay. And there you say that you need to designate the group as terrorists. So, but it's not your job, but you wanted to designate them as terrorists, right?
So that handwritten note in my notebook, I can
assure you that was not a meeting with the director of CSIS, with
That's,
whom I didn't have a meeting.
it says, it's, okay, it's with David Vignon from CSIS.
It doesn't say that. It says it's with a gentleman called Dave.
Which Dave?
That meeting, that is not an account of
Which
a
Dave?
meeting with Dave Vigneault because I didn't have a
which
meeting
Dave is in
with
those
the
notes,
CSIS
ma'am?
director.
Which Dave is in those notes? What's Dave's last name?
I need to see my whole notebook that you're referring to, but I can tell you
It
for
only says
certain.
Dave.
I can tell you for certain that I did not have a meeting during this time with the CSIS director.
Okay, so
People have testified in this inquiry referencing your widely published comments and calling the unvaccinated racists and misogynists. And we have heard testimony in this inquiry about how some of your officials wanted to label protesters as terrorists. Would you agree with me that one of the most important roles of a prime minister is to unite Canadians and not divide them by engaging in name calling?
I did not call people who were unvaccinated names. I highlighted there is a difference between people who are hesitant to get vaccinated for any range of reasons and people who deliberately spread misinformation that puts at risk the life and health of their fellow Canadians. And my focus every step of the way, and the primary responsibility of a prime minister is to...
Yes, there is a small fringe element in this country that is angry, that doesn't believe in science, that is lashing out with racist, misogynistic attacks. But Canadians, the vast majority of Canadians, are not represented by them.
The small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians who have been there for each other, who know that following the science and stepping up to protect each other is the best way to continue to ensure our freedoms, our rights, our values as a country.
You deserve better. You deserve a government that's going to continue to say, get vaccinated. And you know what? If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train besides vaccinated people and put them at risk.
Trying to bring people together is not always compatible with science, with respect for human rights, with the best way to move things forward. I mean, when Erin O'Toole talks about, oh yes, we need to unite people, we need to bring people together, he's talking about defending the rights of people who are anti-vax.
Vaccination. Puis on en connaît tous des gens qui sont en train d'hésiter un petit peu. On va continuer d'essayer de les convaincre. Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui ne croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on tolère ces gens-là ou est-ce qu'on dit, ben voyons, la plupart des gens, presque 80% des Québécois ont fait ce qu'il fallait faire, se sont fait vacciner, on veut revenir aux choses qu'on aime faire. C'est pas ces gens-là qui vont nous bloquer maintenant.
My last question, Mr. Prime Minister, when did you and your government start to become so afraid of your own citizens?
That's a very unfair...
I am not, and we are not.
Those are my questions.
Thank you. If there's any more trouble, that side of the room is going to be expelled. Is that clear enough?
À la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui ne croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on tolère ces gens-là ou est-ce qu'on dit, ben...
This is IrnieracingNews reporting from Mexico. It's like November 29th. Just wanted to show you this Trudeau, this goof Trudeau, lying, perjuring himself in court. You know, in Canada, that's punishable up to 14 years for perjury, but is anyone going to proceed with investigating a perjury case against Prime Minister Trudeau?